Bang. What's going on, man? Y'all know what's going on. It's your boy OK Bet, aka K Trades, man. We got it back in blood today, man. We got it back in blood. Y'all know we got, come on, man. We already talked about this, right? What did we talk about yesterday? We talked about how in bull markets, you need this in order to get this, right? In order to get the next leg, you can't forget about this. So, look, breakout, pullback, right? Breakout, pullback, right? You buy it off the, come on now, buy it off the support. It was that simple, right? Look. Let me show y'all something. What I posted last night, right? Last night at 8 p.m. This is how y'all know I was overly thinking. You feel what I'm saying? Look, 8 p.m. yesterday, 8 p.m. Boom. All we did was dump out the bottom of the channel, right? So I'm like, look, we recover it. Y'all know we're gonna target next part of the zone. Look, hold on. Let me show y'all, man. Man, stop playing with them. Stop playing. From the bottom, literally, as soon as the market opened, we got beautiful 3 tests. Got in. Smack. And today's the day they got rid of the PDT. You know what I'm saying? So they got rid of the PDT today. So we actually I'm starting to do, look, so this is the deal, right? I'm gonna do a small account challenge, but I'm gonna only use it on live, right? I'm gonna use it specifically for live, so we can, use this PDT to kind of start building up some small accounts. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do that. In the chat, I did call. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what I called today. I called NVDA. You know what I'm saying? NVDA 1DTE 217 calls. Let's see what we did today on NVDA. Come on now, let's see what time that was. What time was that call out? Oh, wait. Yeah, we almost went 222. We did hit most of our target right here. So, I mean, yeah, NVIDIA also amazing play. So, let's go over the quick recap real quick. Well, I guess that really is the recap. We just bought and held calls all day, pretty much it. But so let's go over basically setups. Anything else I'm liking? I got a few tickers up here. All right, we got a bunch of different stuff. But we did go live today, so a bunch of different people sent me some new. Some new tickers, some new recommendations and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Let's start with the left. Start with NVIDIA, right? So NVIDIA did come down, right? We did actually get a nice little dump the past 2 days, but we did come down to where our previous, same thing like SPY. Used to be resistance, right? We broke out, and we could just be testing it, right? We could just be checking to make sure it's support, right? Before we get a nice little push back up. So because we came down into that support, I was like, well, as long as we can flip back above previous day's low, we'll grab some calls, right? So then that's once we got that, a nice push, nice push. Remember, this is why I say you never want to just buy the opening move, because a lot of times those opening candles can be, just grabbing liquidity real quick. So it did get an opening flush, but by the same time we got in the SPY calls, right? We got these, let them run, wash, rinse, repeat, rolled, bought some more, and then we sold most of them once they kind of topped out up here. Because remember, you always want to look left. So look, you look left from here. What do you have? Bang, right? So this is where we broke down from, right? So if we come back initially, what are we gonna do? Same thing we did the first time, right? Sell off. So that was pretty simple. NVIDIA, I'm still gonna be watching this. I'm still personally bullish long term, of course. Unless, of course, let me get it out. Unless, of course, we do end up losing 215 tomorrow, right? And we erase that whole pump today. Now, if we erase the whole pump today, it's probably not looking good. Probably gonna come down back into that 200 zone. But as long as this really holds, right, 215, 217, as long as that can kind of hold, maybe a little gap up overnight. If we can get back into this channel and hold 220, break above 222, 225 is a magnet, right? So that'll be pretty nice to watch for. And tomorrow's Friday, weekly close too. So we'll see how that looks. Our favorite, SPY. SPY's in a weird spot, right? It looked good up until that close. And it's crazy. We actually caught the end of day pump SPX, then we bought the end of day puts SPX. That shit was crazy. I'm talking about we just catching every single move. Here. Catching this, catching that little puts, calls. But so that was pretty fun. But we need to hold this trend line, right? Or this little channel that I have here, right? This is recent resistance. Then we broke out, support, and then we fell back below. So if this is just a sweep and we can't get back above, right, roughly that 758 area, that's gonna be a really strong area for confirmation. If we lose this, right, overnight, or if we just go straight down overnight, we lose 755, 54-ish, right? Same levels as yesterday, 753. We start to lose that. Look left, remember? Look left. Bang. look left. We lost it last time. Where did we come? All the way down here to the same levels, basically where we came from. So if we were to lose this, we'd probably erase the whole move, you know, and probably come all the way back down to 752. Lose that, it might go lower to 758, and maybe even close the gaps, right? If we do get a nasty gap down, you know, be prepared for it to be might be a nasty little flush. Remember, because look, we have a high, then we have a low set, right? We got a little swing high, we got a little low. We did come up and make a new high, but this could be a bigger high and this could be a lower high. So you still got to be careful, right? We're in a weird kind of spot because this could just be a sweep and then go lower. But if this is a true bottom, you know, and this is a true high, then we should get a lower low. I mean, a higher low. My fault. I'm sorry. We should get a higher low somewhere, you know, in between here. So that way we'll still keep up with the thesis of a bull, you know, bull bias, and that would also kind of give us some sort of maybe a little inverse head and shoulder, you know. Who knows? So yeah, be aware of both sides. Obviously, you know what to do. Mark your previous day's close, right? Previous day's high, right? Mark that. Oh no, we closed up here. Damn. All right, yeah, we closed up here, right? So, but if we do reclaim this overnight or anything like that, you know, I'm pretty much still gonna be looking bullish, right? Any kind of reclaim of 757, 758, right? That zone that we spent so much time in today, right? Look left, right? Remember, look left. We bounced here, and then we finally got the flush. So of course, when we come back, what's gonna happen? Initially, we do the same thing as we did the first time, right? So this just could be an initial flush, you know, from here, because this flush did lead all the way down there, you know. Basically the same thing like last time, right? Look at the higher time frames. Remember, we had this gap down, crazy sell, and when we came back, we got a nasty flush, right? But we still ended up recovering. So you know, just see, you know, be patient with it. If we're still bullish, like I said, we'll be fine, right? If it's bearish, then we'll know. We'll start to lose the daily levels, right? Daily level 754, and then probably if we do just nasty come all the way down past this, and it does clear out the low of day from today, yeah, we're probably gonna go 748. Probably gonna go a little lower than that. So yeah, it's Friday. You know, be prepared for some BS. CVS. So this is a new one. One of the guys in the chat actually put me on, and I was like, hold on, I got like CVS. I ain't gonna lie. I swung a little CVS, a little 95 call. I ain't gonna lie. It looked good too. Yeah, right about here, right? And then it took us a little while. We were kind of just chilling, and we were like, okay, well, we'll just go ahead and grab one, and then we finally recovered into the close. So if we can get a nice little gap up, right, go ahead and take us up, CVS. But probably go ahead and gap over 95. If we can get over 95, yeah, I think we have another gap up here or something. Let me see. There's something up here I like. Oh no, that gap already filled. But either way, you know, we got some room to go, especially because look, boom, bounced off the SMAs. Nice little bullish momentum. If it's bullish, you know, keep going. All right, next, AAOI, another one from the chat. And look, y'all can always drop them in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Drop some comments. Let me know what y'all in. Let me know what y'all looking at. You know, don't be scared. I need it. You know, give me some feedback. You know, let me know how I'm doing. You know, you gotta. I talk to y'all. You talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So AOI, we talked about how, you know, this kind of had a possible head and shoulder, and we went over that SPY head and shoulders that failed, and we got over it. We got this lower high, and then we just waited for it to clear, right? So anything in here, you can be careful of. But if this holds, you should be able to, you know, come take out this high. And if we're truly bullish, you know, come out and take out that other high at around 235. So be careful with it, you know, because we haven't quite broke out yet. We're just kind of in the middle, you know, of the zone. But like I said, if we can, you know, tomorrow get over previous day's close, pump over the high, right? We'll probably come up and have a nice little squeeze, you know, over time. Meta, yeah, Meta's a weird one. It's kind of like how Tesla is kind of weird, but it did come back and test. Remember, we had this diamond bottom on Meta, right? It was insane, but it did break out and retest it, and then it just, you know, it popped back over. So it's kind of in the same spot as SPY, like where it went so crazy today that it didn't quite test where we broke from, right? We didn't really get a retest of this area. So as long as we can hold 618, you know, 615, really the 5-day SMA, as long as we can hold that, and the 5 is below us. So as long as we can hold the 5-day SMA, anything above 620, if we start getting bullish momentum off of 620, hey, it might just want to go ahead and run back up again, you know. And then again, you still have the same little inverse head and shoulder type pattern on Meta as well. So, you know, be careful with it. You know, it's not over yet, but we are still in a weird spot where it's kind of like bullish, bearish. You know, Tesla, piece. I hate Tesla so much. Yeah, this is irritating. I don't know what this got going on. Still in range. faked it again today. I'm glad I don't play Tesla, but like, it's just irritating to even watch. Like, even the day I did take it, I'm like, okay, cool, these runners gonna go crazy. Nope, stopped out. Tesla's that type. Like, it'll just be like, oh, we're gonna go, and then somehow tomorrow it'll just do like this. You know, I don't know, man. I don't Tesla. I don't even like Tesla. But you know, if we're going off numbers, if it does come down, watch for 400. Right, watch for us to break out of that 425 to 430 zone. If you do break out of that, you still have the top of this wedge, right? So, if all else, if this Tesla if it just pulls the Tesla and just magically flies from the bottom, then it'll probably be a super bullish day. You'll probably come out, take out 442, and who knows, maybe 450. You know, Tesla runs weird on Fridays, so be careful with it. Yeah, Oracle. I think Oracle is one of those ones we've kind of been waiting on. Yeah, for sure. Look. Dang. Kind of been waiting on Oracle. It didn't really go yesterday. We was waiting for it yesterday, and it didn't go today. Okay, yeah. But it's right under the 5. Kind of like a lot of stuff. NVIDIA's under the 5 too. 5-day moving average. So if we can, reclaim this, right? 5-day becomes support. You get that nice bull flag breakout. Little inverse head and shoulder playing out, right? That'll be a nice bullish thesis. However, if we cannot break that 5 and it starts to go lower and we get smacked back below outside of this channel, then you got to watch for, the lows, overnight lows, possibly come down to the 20 SMA. Right? So be careful either way it goes. And Unity, I think that's called same kind of ideal, right? Everything's kind of having the same kind of pullback, but possibility of a lower high type of move. You know what I'm saying? See, everything's kind of having the same kind of move. Controlled selling, nothing too crazy, just controlled selling. But again, underneath that 5, right? You got to get back above that 5-day SMA. Use that as support, right? If not, then you can really chop in between the 5 and the 20, right? And that'll give you a tight range. But remember, consolidation leads to expansion. So if it does start to consolidate, right, in any specific zone, if it starts to chop in here or chop in here, you know what I'm saying? Just wait for a break on either side. And then hopefully that 5-day will kind of lead you, to exactly where you're supposed to go. And actually, let me look at SPY real quick, because the SPY, we rejected the 5. This is how I knew to go short. This is why we took our call profit, right? Once we broke back above, we already knew that retest was about to be disgusting. Yeah. Right over here, yeah. Once we started topping out, I'm like, yeah, it's about that time. I already knew that was going to dump this in the close. And then, yeah, the 5-day was right here too. So I'm like, what? SPX. Went crazy. So, yeah. Being below the 5-day is not good for any ticker that I went over tonight, right? Meta's still over the 5, right? Meta's over its 5. So, I mean, that's good. But NVIDIA, I think it rejected its 5 today too. Yeah. Or no, is this the 20? Hold on. This might be the 20. Yeah, that's the 20. Okay, so we're kind of in the same boat. Like everything kind of rejected it. But like I said, it's not over just because you reject it, right? Just because you get, how we get the little gap close reversals and stuff like that, doesn't mean it's going to always just go all the way back down, So it might just be a pullback. Remember, because there was all these sellers who got stuck in here, You got the bounce. The second bounce, and then all those people got trapped right underneath, right? It rolled, and now it finally came back, and they're out at break even. So of course, who wouldn't want to get a nice little pull, especially right here at the 5 as well. So this is definitely called for. I definitely understand it. This is why we grabbed some of those puts towards the end of the day, right? Because that shit I was already overextended, right? We had already had really no no breakdowns, but once we kind of trend line. Broke down, retested it for that last push, got out on that very last squeeze, right, all the way down. So, yeah, be careful what the 5 is, you know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes open, be more patient because it is Friday. Fridays love to sweep the lows, sweep the highs, stay in the range, right? Whatever that first 30 minutes, the first hour gives us, it might be the range for the entire day, you know what I'm saying? So don't overtrade, you know what I'm saying? PDT, do not cook yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because it can get tricky if you're in both good sides. Like today was easy, you buy calls, wait for it to drop, buy some more calls, you know what I'm saying? It was easy. But those range days, that's how they cook people, right? Because people would be calls and then put, then calls and puts, and by that time you've already traded all your account, you already lost it all, So be careful with the PDT. I do hope we gap down here though, because that'll be an easier decision whether we bounce off, or if we just go ahead and get that next leg lower, you know. And I did swing a little lotto. I'm not gonna lie. I swung a little lotto, a little 654 put. I ain't gonna lie. Just a little lotto, man. I had to. But yeah, Cat hit yesterday on assist. That was a nice one. Everybody pretty much hit except I had Cal Bridges last night for 9.5. He hit 9. And then I had Stephon Castle, $10 into 200. I missed it by a 0.5, bro. I hate them 0.5 so much. But anyway, yeah, man. You know, it's gonna be pretty much it. We're gonna call it. Y'all have a good day or have a good evening, whatever time it is for y'all. Good morning if you're watching this in the morning, right? It's always good to rewatch the game plan before market opens, because then, like I said, we'll have all these pre-market candles to kind of show us, right? Because if we gap up in pre-market and you're like, oh, okay, remember he talked about this, you'll be able to see it act out in real time, right? Or either side, up or down, whether we fail and go lower or whether we reclaim and go higher. Either way, you know what I'm saying, we have that kind of line in the sand, right? And then we have our downside line in the sand and our upside line in the sand. So, you know, just beware of the levels. Come back and rewatch it in the morning. And yeah, that's it, man. I'll see y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna drop my cash out, y'all. Buy your boy some lunch. I know y'all banged today. I know y'all got it. Not just messing. But drop some comments. Let me know if y'all banged today in the live. Let me know what I should do as far as the small account challenge in the live. If that's something y'all want to see, definitely, you know, drop a little comment. And we'll get it set up. You know, that way I can decide what's the amount we're gonna start with. You know, and then we'll go from there. But y'all be easy. Stay blessed. Keep God first. See y'all.